Hey Prima friends. Okay, let's get this Project Prima question time started with a few announcements. Just really quickly to all of those who have ordered Prima Bars, which is so awesome because you directly support me staying here in Russia when you buy a Prima Bar. There was a backlog on mini orders. We just got inventory in today and the orders are going to be shipped out, so don't worry, you're going to be getting your bars. And if you order your Prima Bars on site joywomack.com, there is an issue with the server with the primabar.com, so your orders don't get processed in the same way that the orders that get processed on the primabar.com get processed. So if you had problems with your order, that's probably why. So please use the link down below, which is www.theprimabar.com to order Prima Bars. I was just promoted to prima ballerina officially. I've had the contract, I signed the contract a couple of months ago, but I didn't announce it. But I mean, I was always a principal with my company, after I joined, but the ranking system in my company is very different. And today, officially on the site, if you go there, I'm a prima ballerina of the Kremlin Ballet, which is kind of awesome. They do need to update my CV because it's my CV from 2014 with none of my competitions or anything like that. I almost feel guilty. It's a really weird feeling, and I feel like I'm about to get in trouble. So it's weird. It's weird that it's kind of official and out there in the open. Okay, let's jump into the questions for Project Prima question time. If you guys don't follow me on Snapchat, follow me on Snapchat. I think what I do is I'm gonna hold this up to the screen. So follow me on Snapchat. Oh. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you too, bye.
Hello, Father. All right, guys, we're gonna try this on.
Hi, Joy. What is one of your favorite stretches to do before class warm up? And also, I love you. You're super inspiring, and yeah, just keep going.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. So my favorite stretches to do before class is a certain Nike training program routine. So I will take. This is my Nike training app, and load. I do the core strength workout, and then I do the full stretch guide, and then after the full stretch guide, if I got there a good hour and 15 before, I will do the run ready, and then I'll go straight into my oversplits and my other rehearsals. So that's my core workout, and I do that every day before class. I've just finished class. What's my favorite ballet? So my favorite ballet has always been Giselle and Romeo and Juliet, and I got to start doing the variation last week. How do I stay motivated to continue? Remembering the feeling of success after a good show, the feelings that I get dancing with a partner that I love, and understanding that every single moment I'm on stage and in the studio is a moment that I'm getting to praise the Lord. What kind of Christian am I? It's I guess I'm non-denominational Christian. Foot strengthening routine. I do point every other day for ballet class, tendus. I use those Japanese weird things, and I use my TheraBand. Prima question: what was my biggest struggle moving to Russia? My teacher thinks my time is soon and she sends me off to a company in Russia. I think that it's really important, if you have a professional education and you're joining a Russian company, that you learn the language. And I think it's really important that you learn repertoire. If it's a Russian company, make sure you learn the core of Swan Lake, the core of Sleeping Beauty. Learn the core so that you don't spend so much time learning new material when you first get into a company, because then you'll get labeled as somebody who's slow. So if you can pick up material fast, that's the best way. I have a dream to dance in Russia just like you. I'm not sure it's possible for me, but as a 16-year-old, do you think it's too late to get there? is it best to study in a Russian school and then get into Russian company? I know that you moved to Russian when you're 15 to study Rbth. Yes, I think it's easiest to get into a Russian company if you have a Russian diploma for bureaucratic reasons. So it doesn't have to be the Bolshoi Ballet Academy. There are many different companies and schools all around Russia, and actually that's probably the most surefire way to get into a Russian company. And I think that it's actually easier after you get into a Russian school to go to a company not in Moscow or St. Petersburg, but in the regions, and you'll actually have more opportunities to dance. So there you go, there's a hack for that.
Joy, my questions are about language. How long did it take for you to get comfortable with the Russian language, and what did you do specifically to get to that level? Thanks.
Russian language for me was really difficult when I first came. I didn't speak any Russian. Some people now even criticize me that I used to speak Russian better when I was married. But I just practiced. I didn't let myself speak English. I just tried to speak Russian with my friends, and I wasn't afraid to make mistakes. And I got up really early in the morning and did my Russian lessons from my books over and over and over again. But what is my favorite thing about living in Moscow? I really love living in Moscow. I love the way that you can get anything at any hour of the day. It's so gorgeous in all different weather, and the fact that it's like New York, where if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. There are so many different kinds of people here, and everyone is working as hard as they can to provide for themselves and their family, and that is an incredible energy to be around. It's an extremely creative and artistically friendly city. It's amazing. If you have money, you can do anything here. And even if you don't have money, you can find friends who will do different things. It's just a really awesome city. How many hours do I work a week? I have not tried to answer that question, but I work many weeks without any days off, and I always have at least 2 hours of rehearsal with my teacher. That's like individual rehearsal. Then I'll have partnering, and then I will have my class, and I always get. So I spend around an average of 5 to 6 hours at the company if I'm not performing. If I'm performing, it's definitely a 12 to 14 hour day. But then I spend another 2 to 3 hours cross-training about that. So you guys do the math. A lot of my time is doing ballet.
Hi Joy, so my question is if you think about the possibility of working in another ballet company, such as the Royal Opera House. Bye.
It would be a dream come true to dance at the Royal Opera House. My God, my theory about this is a girl can dream, and like those companies, oftentimes, as my partner Masha says, who is my dearest, he's amazing. He's such an amazing partner, and he's so wise, and he's like been around the block for so long. He has a saying in Russian, "Везде казавки одинаково," which means everyone's boogers are the same everywhere, which is true. Like the same issues, no matter who I meet in the ballet world, everyone has the same issues. They don't pay me enough, I don't have enough shows, I don't have enough opportunity, and it must be better somewhere else. So the issue is, do you stay in one place so that and be uncomfortable, or do you go to another place and be uncomfortable there? Because if I were to move to a European company right now, honestly, at age 21, who would hire me? Number one. Number two, who would hire me as a principal dancer? And I just don't think I have enough experience. Maybe I'm wrong, but those dancers in those European companies, if they're Russian, they have spent years in Russia getting repertoire, and they're ready for that. If they're from, Europe or America, they fit a certain style, and they're there for certain ballets. When you join a company, you're there not as a person, you're there as a person who knows the repertoire, and you're like a clog in a machine. So whenever you switch companies, it definitely takes a huge adjustment period, and you have to become somebody who's needed inside that company. And you're needed if you know the repertoire, if you can bring something special to that. So if I ever change companies, it'll be because somebody wants what I can bring to the table, and I don't know what that is yet. I think that I'm very young, and I've just started on my journey, and I really enjoy the opportunities of getting to dance. And of course, I would dream to dance with any number of companies, but I just don't know if anyone would hire me. You know, I think there are 1,000 me's, and in order to get to a place where you can be unique, you have to like struggle more. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, put it down in the comments down below. But I think that you also need to make sure that you move companies at the right time, and you have to weigh the pros and cons. And you know, for example, the Royal Ballet, they have a huge number of incredibly talented ballerinas. They don't need another one. Even if they wanted one, there's like so much logistical things that go on with casting wise. You really have to fit a company. A company needs to need you. Because if you're going to a company just because you're attracted to their name, odds are you're gonna end up not very needed and on the sidelines.
Okay, I was wondering if you ever considered leaving Kremlin, or if you considered going to Mariinsky. I was just wondering.
Mariinsky is an incredible company. I don't think I could ever be hired by them, but you know, I love their dancers, and I love Xander and Kim Kimin, and I've got the great pleasure of like dancing with some great people there. But of course, I love their repertoire, and I think one of the biggest factors for me going forward is after dancing all the repertoire that the Kremlin has, if I wanted to dance some more repertoire somewhere else. Of course, I dream about dancing Balanchine, and I dream about dancing Macmillan and Newmeyer and getting to do all of those roles, but it's important to have a good, strong base first. So, of course, I could dream, but only life can tell. And at the moment, I've not had the opportunities to audition for those companies, and I feel very loyal to my company. I'm very confused on that subject. So I think it's interesting that you all are asking me that, but the answer is, I don't know. Question about why is it so important to be a principal dancer? And that is a huge question, because a principal dancer is not just the person who's standing there in the center of the company. It's the person who's leading the company. It's the person who's taking the responsibility and all that comes with it. You represent the company as a whole and what they stand for. It's so important to be somebody who's an example for everyone around them. It's important to be somebody who has a good attitude and is encouraging. It's somebody who understands the repertoire and understands the idea of what the company director wants to portray and give to the audience. Somebody who has control of their emotions, who can understand what your partner is going through, what the rest of the company is. You are the company morale and almost the soul of the company. You have to understand that there are about 80 dancers around you that are dancing corps de ballet. You've got to make them look good, and you have to understand each person's pain and struggle on that stage and be there as somebody who's waving the flag saying you can do it and come on. And if being a principal dancer is a very complex way of life, and you need to be ready to sacrifice your ego, your desires, and be doing for the company, doing for the weight that's on you, and making sure that you are inside of what is expected of you. It's a huge amount of pressure, and it needs to be done gracefully, and it needs to be done with joy. And I think one of the best examples of a principal dancer is Misha Martin, who's my partner, because he understands everything, the bad and the good, and yet he makes you smile instead of being upset when you could be like, well, the world's ending, I can't get this pirouette and everything's ruined. You know, he is with a more mature attitude. Like today, he wasn't having a good turnout. He's like, well, today's not that great, but you know, it'll be better tomorrow, and we're doing ballet. It's okay. How I'm seeing a therapist, and I was wondering if you could talk about what advice you have with dealing with anxiety. You guys know that I have struggled, and I do continue to struggle with stage fright and anxiety and perfectionism and recovering from eating disorders. And one of the things that helps me the most is finding a therapist who just helps me love me for me. And I think it's really important to learn how to forgive yourself, which is really difficult because my happy zone, my comfort zone is punishment or is work. And I feel extremely uncomfortable when it's time to have fun or if it's time to let people love you. So that's something I really struggle with. But finding my calm and finding my purpose and finding my joy and my why for what I'm doing has helped me so much. So I think I'm gonna leave that for the rest of my question and answer video. I apologize. This video is a mess, but I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for all the congratulations. Thank you guys so much for all of the good thoughts. Make sure you guys check out the Prima Bar. Send me snaps, send me Facebook, send me Twitter, check me out, and maybe I'll do another solely Snapchat question and answer video because that seems to be like the best way. And all right guys, this hot mess is over for today. I will see you guys tomorrow for another vlog.